Welcome to livingafulfillinglife.com. Now, those of you that watched the video last week, you know I covered these aspects about strengths and weaknesses. And I'm sure by now you have listed out your weaknesses, and especially those that I told you to differentiate between the characteristical one and those that are behavioral ones, and then the behavioral ones to think about what is your thought process that manifested into that behavioral pattern. Of course, we're talking about a negative behavioral pattern. All right, and for those that have not watched it yet, so you don't know what I'm talking about now, just stop this video and go to the previous one, okay, the one this last week before this one, and then you're able to follow through after you watch the previous one. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how do you correct your thinking. That's right. The reason that, for example, I used the procrastination as that weakness, that why you procrastinate, because your thinking process is one that you're afraid to be wrong, you're afraid that people judge you, you're afraid that people look at you and say that, well, are you stupid, are you dumb, what are you, what are you doing, so on and so forth. Now, if your thinking is of that nature, and that's called fear, then you find yourself absolutely being handicapped with virtually anything that you want to do in life. That's right, and I mean anything. It's just not only about your project or your work, even relationship, even pursuing a hobby, you will not go all the way out because you're afraid of what people think of you. And so therefore, you procrastinate. Although you may say, I have that strong desire. Now, it doesn't work that way at all. So, if you understand now that your thought process, okay, due to fear, and hence you procrastinate, then you have to go into that fear aspects and do your correction. Now, of course, it may sound like easier said than done. You have to get to the fact that what are you really fearful about? After all, do you know what fear stands for? False evidence or false expectation appears real. So when it appears real to you, something that it's really like scary. Oh my God, if I fail. Oh my God, if people are going to look at me, I look stupid. But is that true? Is that true that people are going to judge you that way? And even they do, so what? You don't owe them a living. They don't owe you a living. Why are you doing that? So go back to the objective, perhaps your desire, and look at, is your desire of wanting to do something that important? So focus on the important and relevant and build on your belief system to make it happen. Make some sense here? Of course, there are many different weaknesses. You can look at it as behavior. But generally, there are few things that involve whenever we are behaving negatively. One being fear, as I've covered. The other is lack of self-love. That's right. Now, I'm not talking about lovey-dovey self-love, look in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you, I love you. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about true sense of that self-worth and that believing yourself that you are worthy. You're worthy to have anything that you want in your life, so long you want it. So fear, self-love, and certain level of anxiety, because you are anxious about success, you are anxious about doing well, you're anxious about looking right. All right, these are three usually main components that lead to a person's negative behavior, and hence is under the weaknesses. So take a moment to ponder it. And it's not so straightforward. As you're going to follow my videos week after week, I'm giving you techniques, I'm giving you awareness, because without awareness, like I mentioned in the earlier video, how do you live your life purposefully and meaningfully? Okay, so write to me personally if you think that you just need some help to tweak it. All right, so look into your thought process and see if you fit them under fear, lack of self-love, or anxiety. And when you can do that, all right, how do you overcome each and every one of them? Which I will follow up in my next video. All right, till then, stay Stay well. See you next week.